QUAO of the Maroons. Queen Nanny of the Maroons freed many enslaved peoples and terrorized the British for decades. But she didn't do it alone. Instrumental to her success was her right hand, or protege, and younger brother, QUAO of the Maroons. He was one of the most cutthroat leaders of the Maroon War, and continued to be so after, despite the treaty. So in this video, let's talk about QUAO, Queen Nanny's protege. But first, smash that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments section after the video, share and subscribe, and check out the rest of my playlist. Let's get into it. QUAO is said to be one of Queen Nanny's 7 brothers, which would make him one of Prince Naquan's sons, meaning he is of royal blood. It is not certain when he was born, but from his relationship with Queen Nanny, he was more than likely her younger brother, placing his birth date somewhere around the 1680s in the great Negro town in the Blue Mountains of Jamaica. Name. His name is a traditional Akan name for a boy born on a Thursday, and is a variation of the name Yah. The name Yah denotes the qualities of bravery and courage, as well as a warlike spirit. They also appear to be guarded and judgmental. Role. QUAO was Queen Nanny's protege. She would groom him to take the lead of the Maroons, and he would eventually become the leader of the Windward Maroons, while Queen Nanny was the spiritual head as priestess whom he would consult on all matters. This is why his name appears in the treaty. He was a leader, a strategist, and warrior who, in addition to commanding warriors, went into battle himself. QUAO had 4 generals under him. They were Tomboy, Clash, Blackwell, and Apom. These 4 men would appear in QUAO's treaty as his successor in that order. Maroon War. QUAO and his generals were situated in the heart of the conflict. As such, during the Maroon War, QUAO saw action in almost every major battle, from Captain Soper's initial discovery of Nanitone to the Three-Pronged Attack of Accompong, Nanitone, and Mortone. In 1731, convinced they needed much better trained soldiers, Governor Hunter sent for 200 troops from England. They had some degree of success in occupying Nanitone. This led to the Catawwood period, when the Maroons were scattered in the woods. Some Maroons went west and joined the other Maroon towns, while QUAO would remain in the east and fight the British in the Great Plantain Walk and drive out the British and retake the town. In 1734, Captain Shelford brought 300 soldiers into a complete ass-whooping by QUAO and his men when they invaded Nanitone. Both black and white soldiers captured in the battle, and despite Accompong's protests, QUAO executed every one of them, which led to a disagreement between the two. Troops from Gibraltar. In this battle, the British would send for 600 troops from Gibraltar, and with 200 more from Jamaica, they managed to successfully occupy Nanitone and scatter the Maroons once again. QUAO took 1/3 of the Maroon clans with him to Mortown, while many went west with his brothers. The Three-Fingered Attack, 1738. In 1738, the British would launch a massive assault on 3 Maroon towns at the same time, in hopes of wiping them out. They attacked Accompong, Nanitone, and Mortone. They would have some degree of success at Nanitone, but at Mortone they were utterly crushed under Nanny and Quao's leadership. A Kampong town experienced similar results. Soon after, the British would come to negotiate. After the war, Quao watched while the British military commanders quarrel over who should sign the treaty with the Windward Maroons. An argument that was eventually won by Robert Bennett. Quao and Bennett cut their fingers and mixed their blood in a calabash, after which they signed the peace treaty. After the First Maroon War, Quao and Nanny would go their separate ways. Nanny took her Maroons east to what would later become known on the eastern fringes of the Blue Mountains, while Quao took his people west to central Jamaica and formed a community in a town that would later become known as Crawford's Town on the western side of the Blue Mountains. In around 1746, the white superintendents appointed by the British governors with the support of internal loyalists co-opted Quao's town and replaced him as Maroon leader. They chose a Maroon more favorable to their cause named Edward Crawford, after whom the town was eventually renamed. In 1754, Quao and his Maroons rose up in revolt, killed Ned Crawford, and captured the 3 white men who acted as superintendents in Crawford's town. Governor Charles Knowles sent a militia under the command of Lieutenant Ross to negotiate with Quao, but the Maroon leader essentially told him, "Eat a dick." No white man nor his pawn will control any Maroon town, and reasserted Maroon control over Quao's town. Once again, the whites would resort to gaining the allegiance of Maroons who supported Crawford, as well as other Windward Maroons, and they defeated the minority of Maroons who supported Quao, capturing him and killing a number of his Maroon officers. Despite the bloodshed caused by Quao's revolt, he was actually pardoned by the assembly and sent on his way apparently. There was still fear of the power that Quao commanded, that they were content to cut their losses and leave well enough alone. It is not clear what happened to Quao after that. In 1739, the British would submit to a treaty with Cudjoe. Soon after, they would approach Quao with another treaty. And this is where we see that Quao's name is listed as the leader of the Windward Maroons, with his generals after him. Quao was a great Maroon leader and fierce warrior who freed many enslaved peoples and fought an over 50-year war against the British and their slave system and won freedom for his people. And this video is dedicated to his memory. Quao of the Maroons. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button, leave your comments down below, share the video, and subscribe for more. You can hit that super thanks button if you'd like to contribute and say super thanks. Or hit me up in the Cash App or on Patreon, a link in the description. Special thanks to my sources. For this video, I resorted to stories from Maroon family oral history, as well as Kenneth Bilby's True Born Maroons, Bev Carey's book known as The Maroon Story, and Milton McFarlane's book, Cudjoe of the Maroons. Please check out all those books, links in the description. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Till next time.